We've all heard firearm owners being called FUDDs or mall ninjas, mainly as a derogatory term. If you go to an AR-15 forum, they'll likely call you a FUDD for disagreeing with them. If you go to just about any hunting forum, you'll be called a mall ninja when you claim that the 223 is a fantastic elk round. A small group of gun owners are surprisingly anti-gun, and they became known as FUDDs. Any hunter or gun owner who supports gun control will be instantly labeled a FUDD. The firearm community does try to purge FUDDs from our ranks when we discover them. Another group of firearm owners emerged who pretended to be Navy SEALs, martial arts masters, and they like to fantasize about fighting zombies and being a badass when society collapses. These guys became known as mall ninjas. In this video, I'll explore the history and ideology of these two distinct groups of firearm owners. For the last 30 years, there's been a huge rift in the firearm community. It started sometime in the mid-1990s when so-called assault weapons became a national issue. This is when Second Amendment absolutists clashed with several popular figures in the gun world. Back in the day, many old-school Democrat hunters believed that the Second Amendment only applied to hunting firearms. Guys like Jim Zumbo and Bill Ruger supported magazine restrictions and assault weapon bans. After that, several other prominent gun writers and manufacturers decided to jump on the gun control bandwagon. The left and the media used these misguided gun gurus as pawns to pass assault weapons bans. Almost overnight, these turncoat celebrities were labeled as FUDDs, which was a play on the Looney Tunes character, Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd was a hunter who, through sheer ignorance and stupidity, could never bag a rabbit or a duck, and usually ended up with self-inflicted wounds. This moniker seemed to be a perfect fit for anti-gun owners who, through their ignorance, created self-inflicted wounds on all of us. FUDDs are more than just anti-gun hunters. It also refers to fake hunters who claim to have knowledge or expertise, but are severely lacking when it comes to hunting in a real-world situation. Most FUDDs were rooted out of the hunting media in the last 20 years, but they do still exist today. Tim Waltz has recently become a world-famous FUDD. Mitt Romney is a FUDD. The actor Matthew McConaughey is also a certified FUDD. Admittedly, the term FUDD is slowly losing its meaning and becoming an overused insult for just about anything, similar to how the words racist and narcissist are losing their meaning for being used incorrectly so often. September 11th, 2001 was the official beginning of the War on Terror. And soon we had boots on the ground in Afghanistan and then Iraq. The entire news cycle consisted of scare tactics meant to panic the American public. Guns, ammunition, and tactical gear flew off the shelves as fast as they could make it. Men camped outside stores to buy ammo when the stores opened up in the morning. They didn't really need this ammo. They were stockpiling for doomsday. Forums and groups of like-minded people formed, usually on the internet. And as soldiers returned from war, everyone had to know exactly what they did and what they carried on their deployment. The soldiers that returned from those wars were just instant celebrities on the internet. But this attention also had negative outcomes. many people started pretending to be combat veterans just for attention, and others idolized them so much that rather than actually joining the military, they decided to be special operators at home just for fun. At that same time, video games like Call of Duty and Rainbow Six and other video games made people literally sit in front of their screen all day and all night pretending to be special operators. This eventually went to their heads, and it wasn't long before they decided that they were, in fact, also firearm experts. These people went by lots of names. We used to call them basement commandos, gear queers, special ed operators, tactical turds, cul-de-sac commandos, and mall ninjas. Out of all of these names, mall ninja was the name that kind of stuck around. The term mall ninja was first coined on the old Glock Talk forum. There was a member who claimed to be a top firearm expert and claimed to be a master of ninjutsu. He also just happened to be a security guard at the mall. So people started calling him the mall ninja. Today, though, mall ninja is basically describes a self-proclaimed weapons and combat expert. Mall ninjas are delusional and often even obnoxious and participate in many ill-informed online debates about guns, ammunition, and warfare. Even though there is often some overlap, generally gun owners are either mostly tactical enthusiasts or mostly hunting enthusiasts. When they view firearms ownership, they usually critique it kind of through those lenses. But both camps usually agree with the original interpretation of the Second Amendment and are on the same page when it comes to gun rights. Hunters will call a guy hunting elk with a pistol and a hip holster a mall ninja. And the tactical guys will usually call a hunter a FUDD if they hunt on foot with an empty chamber for safety. So both sides more or less poke fun at each other for fun. But what would happen if we took your stereotypical mall ninja and made him fight with your stereotypical FUDD? Who would win? First, I'd like to introduce our mall ninja for this battle. Meet Big Baller 69. He has a BMI of 40, a score of 20,000 on Call of Duty, lives in his mom's basement, and was a moderator on AR15.com. He claims that the North Hollywood shootout would have been over in 2 minutes if he was there. Now let's meet our FUD for this battle. Meet NRA Bird Hunter. He's a vegan that only eats what he kills. He thinks no firearm should have a magazine and is a moderator on 24-hour Campfire. He claims he personally saved the quail population from extinction by not breaking up coveys. There will be no rules in this battle, and any weapon of choice is allowed. So let's get it on. The battle begins, and Big Baller 69 tries to raise his rifle and gets caught up in his tactical sling. Oh no. NRA Bird Hunter gets his shotgun up and fires the first shot. Big Baller knows he's been hit, but while doing a 5-minute self-assessment, he gets shot again with NRA Bird Hunter's second barrel. After doing another 5-minute self-assessment, Big Baller notices that his wounds are very minor. It turns out that NRA Bird Hunter was using light, non-toxic bird shot to protect the environment, and none of it was capable of penetrating Big Baller's fat layer. NRA Bird Hunter stares in disbelief, realizing that his gun is now useless. He's told people on the internet to use birdshot for home defense for the last 20 years, and now he realizes he was wrong. Big Baller 69 finally gets ready to return fire with his Daniel Defense AR-15. But it jams up on him badly. Oh no, he's been telling everyone online that he owns a Daniel Defense M4V7. But in reality, he owns a Black Rain ordnance gun, and it just shit the bed. Big Baller's gun is also totally useless. At this point, NRA Bird Hunter decides to use his gun as a club. While swinging it, he realizes that his Krieghoff shotgun is way too pretty, and he pulls back the blow and decides to break the shotgun down and put it back in the case so it doesn't get scratched. Big Baller 69 sees an opportunity to use his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which he mastered by watching the UFC. He goes for an armbar. Unfortunately, he ended up tickling NRA Bird Hunter, and they both disengage. NRA Bird Hunter quickly pulls out a duck call to blast Big Baller's ears. It doesn't work though, because Big Baller has enough earwax to protect him from the annoying noise. Big Baller counters by pulling out his tactical flashlight and putting it on the strobe mode. NRA Bird Hunter instantly has an LSD flashback from a forgotten night in San Francisco and tries to kiss Big Baller in the mouth. Big Baller resists at first, but because this is actually his first kiss at the age of 35, he gives in and they start making out. They eventually get married and find a place where they can both happily exist together.